Welcome to the new weekly report. In this week I have finished working with the HTML and I've started working with the CSS. And what I have done this week is that the HTML website page, which is a template that I am currently copying from the current Instagram meter, is almost finished, and I have started to use CSS, and there is still some small things that I need to finish, but it is almost already done. This week I have finished HTML without going further on working on the small projects with the HTML, which was the idea, to get a little bit more details with the small projects, to learn HTML a little bit more. I'm a little bit better, just to stick in my head what the HTML has to offer, and also how to use some specific tags. But usually I cannot stick too much at one point and working on the same thing, because it gets boring and it's not very interesting. So that's why is the reason why I have decided to move forward and use the CSS, to learn how to use the CSS. What I have changed this week is also the way of the learning. I have started to use a tutorial for the CSS from the Free Code Camp, and it is 11 hours long, from Dave Gray, and it is too much to learn at once. So I have cut it. I have started to learn CSS, and I have started to work on the project, because I was thinking that it will be better to work on my projects, because it is interesting for me to work on something that I would like to have and to build something, and parallel to learn how to use the CSS. So I have started to, and I have changed the way how to learn. I have started to work on the website, and this is my self-taught developer website. You can see it here. This is the home page, which is still in HTML, and it will be like that, where I put all the details what I'm learning. Each day I make some kind of a report, what I have learned, what I do not know, what I do not understand, and some of the details what I have learned. And you can see here that on the 22nd, which is yesterday, I have added more details on the CSM page. And here it is, just a minute, where I'm learning. There is some here. Okay, here it is. No, I cannot find it. Here it is. On the 21st of February, there is a logical good practice how to start with the CSS on the website. So these are the details I do not know currently, and what I have found is that learning from the tutorial from the Free Code Camp is okay, but it is not complete like you are going into the school. The online course from Angela Yu on Udemy is much better. It is something like you are going into the school where you get all the details, which is a very good at the start. And I would suggest to learn from someone who can teach you the basics like in the school, to show you all the details. On the tutorial from other programmers, for example from the Free Code Camp, I can see that they are using their knowledge, and they are just using the solutions they already from their head, and they're not going too deep into explaining why they are using those attributes or that elements inside the CSS or HTML, because they do not understand that as a beginner you need to completely understand the foundation and the basics, why you are using that attribute inside that element, to explain to you a little bit more details, so you can understand why to use that. And also there are some attributes that you can use inside some elements, and those attributes cannot be used in other elements. So this would be very nice to have an explanation when to use which attributes with which element. So I can understand, for example, if I go here inside the VS Code and go here for the CSS, and for example you can see here that there is justify content, then there is text align center. So this is something that should be explained. For example, that the text align could not be used to align the details inside the flex. And also, if there is some kind of a logic that you should always use justify content with a flex, they should mention that. So you can understand when you use a flex box here inside the CSS that you know that to center all the details you should use justify content. Or for example, they're sometimes using display block for the div, and then they are using justify content. There is no clear explanation inside the tutorial from the developers that this is something close connected, and you should always use these two to center the content inside the block. Or for example, to put image inside the block and then use justify content to center the image in the center. So this is something that they are not explained, but this should be explained as basics and in more details, so you can understand later on there is a combination that you can use all the time when you're using a div. So you can use and to center this one, for example, image or the text. This is something that I would like to have as a basic and also as a standard to explain to me what is most used and how to combine some of these attributes. So later on I have created the CSM website, which is a template that I am currently copying from the currency strength meter. This is the website I am currently copying. I have used the text and I have used the images from their website because I'm trying to make it similar as this one, and I'm pretty close to this one, as you can see it. It is similar, but it's not completely finished. I have still here for the button to put some kind of CSS, and also here inside this small header part. And later on this will be here for the JavaScript, which will be a chart that will get information over the API from some kind of service that is providing the details about the symbols. What is very interesting is to use how to use the CSS. It has lots of things to learn inside the CSS. I was thinking that HTML has a lot, but now HTML is almost 30% of the CSS. So HTML is pretty easy to learn, and it is the best to learn with using an examples. So for example, use your domain, put it on a hosting, and build with the HTML homepage and the contact or about page. This will be enough. And inside that website page, you should combine everything that you have learned. For example, just I have done like here. I have put also the forms, the tables, the buttons, the radio buttons, checkboxes, and everything that is possible. The links, footer, header, and back to top combination, and also here sections inside the HTML. This is something that it is very good to learn at the start by building a smaller project, and that is your own website. And later on you can move to the CSS, which will be pretty hard to learn. As I have seen right now, it will take a little bit more time than learning HTML, because CSS has lots of combinations, possibilities, and there is still no clear logic, for me at least, to learn what to use with CSS and when to use. So I need to practice a little bit more and see, is there any templates, or there is patterns that are occurring and that I can use most of the time, so I can learn how this works and build the knowledge based on the projects. I'm still continuing for the next week to build this part of the website, and possibly I will skip the CSS into more details, and we'll try to use a JavaScript to start with collecting the informations from the APIs. This is the idea. I don't know how the next week will be, but I will see, is it possible. Maybe I will start learning about JavaScript and also backend to learn how to use Node.js and how to pull the data into database to save the data and then show it here as the chart. So I'm also thinking what to use to show this one, to use a line chart, the bar chart, or anything else, or there is a combination that I do not need to use a chart. I can use something else that I can use as a bars that I can fill up with data, and using the transparency on these blocks. So for example, I can use an empty block, transparent, and behind I can put some kind of a bar that is filling up with the CSS. So when you fill up this bar, it will show with that color. And if I have 10 of them, this is something like this one here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 bars, and each bar is transparent. So when you fill up some kind of a block behind it, these green bars are transparent, and behind that it is a green block that is filling up from 0 to 100%. So as it's filling, these green bars, these empty bars, which is transparent, will show with the green color with the block that is filling behind. So this is one of the possibilities how to show this data as a bar chart, not using, for example, complete chart, which is a code, special code, or a chart from other website, pulling their data and showing here. This is also a possibility how to use it with the CSS, I think, and images. So this is a report for this week. I'm moving forward, and here I would like to show you here inside the GitHub. You can see the progress. Each day I save the data, what I am doing. 2 or 3 times I save data on the GitHub, and you can see the progress. When I'm working a little bit more, it is more greener, light green, and the dark green is when I'm pushing smaller numbers of push to the GitHub. So you can see here inside the February on the 20th, it is 1 contribution, 4 on the 21st, and on the 22nd is 2 contributions. So this is something that you can also follow me. I'm working from Monday to Friday. On the weekend I'm free. I'm not working, just to take the rest and to be fresh when the new week starts. So this is all for this weekly report. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below the video, and see you next time.